Hi, and welcome back to Fit Future's YouTube video series, Staying Strong in the Second Half of Life. It's spring, it's beautiful outside, it's a perfect time of year to renew your commitment to walking for fitness and for health. The trees are budding, the flowers are blooming, the sun is starting to shine, it's not yet so hot out that it's miserable to be outside walking. It's the perfect time to get out and go for a walk, so I hope you'll take every opportunity possible this week to do just that. Even if you walk for 10 or 15 minutes, it's always a good idea to get outside every day and get your joints moving. When you come in from your walk, it's a good idea to do a little bit of stretching. Now, you know, it used to be 10, 15 years ago that we told people to stretch before they walked. And while warming up before you walk isn't a bad idea, I want to talk about stretching after you walk. The recommendation these days is to stretch your muscles when they're already warm from doing some kind of activity. So I want to show you a simple stretching routine that you can do after you walk to help your legs and your upper body recover a little bit from your walk. So let's start with looking at the muscles in the back of your legs, at the hamstring muscles in the back of your thigh. The first thing you want to do is extend one leg in front of you, put your heel on the ground. Keep your chest and head up high, put your hands on the knee that's bent to help support your back a bit, and lean forward gently from your hips, just to the point where you feel tension in that muscle on the back of your leg, that hamstring muscle. You don't want to bounce up and down in the stretch. You want to just hold that position and stay right there. You should feel tension in that muscle, but not pain. It's a good idea to hold a stretch for 15 to 30 seconds. Breathe naturally. And then we're going to switch legs and stretch the other leg. Again, extending the leg straight out in front of you with your heel on the ground. Put your hands on the opposite leg to help support your back. And lean forward from the hips, not from the waist, until you feel a gentle tension in the back of that leg. Again, not pain, but you do want to feel that the muscle is being stretched. And you want to just hold that spot for 15 to 30 seconds. Now you'll notice, of course, that I'm stretching in a chair. If you're outside somewhere, say you're in a park or you're out in your yard and you don't have a chair to sit on, can you still stretch your hamstring muscle? Of course you can. You can do this stretch standing up. I'm going to turn my chair around. To use it for balance, you might use a tree or a fence post, anything that's handy. And what you would do is extend the leg directly in front of you, bend the leg that's supporting your weight a little bit, and then lean forward again from your hips, not from your waist, keeping your chest and chin up until you feel a gentle stretch in the back of that hamstring muscle. And you hold that position for 10 to 15 seconds. If it's easier for you and there's a curb handy or a bench, you can put your foot up a little bit so that it's elevated, and then again bend the knee that you're supporting your weight with and lean gently forward from your hips. You want to keep your hips pointing straight forward when you do this stretch. And you don't want to round your back like this. Keep your shoulders back, your head and chest up, and lean gently forward from your hips. After you've stretched your hamstring muscle, the next thing to do is to stretch the quadricep muscle in the front of your thigh. To do that, you can put your hand on something for balance, again on a wall, a fence post, a chair, a tree, whatever's handy. Reach behind you and grab your foot and bring that foot up behind your buttock. Now, when you do this, you push your hips slightly forward and you should feel a stretch in the front of your thigh. I want to show you what this looks like from the front, because some people make the mistake of keeping their knee way out to the side like this. You want your knee to come right down next to the other knee and stay directly in line with it as you do this stretch. Again, you're going to hold the stretch for 15 to 30 seconds while you breathe normally, and then switch to the other leg. For some people, grabbing your foot up behind you like this is very difficult, if not impossible. So an alternate stretch is with a bench or a chair, to sit sideways on the bench or the chair, and extend your leg out behind you with your toe turned under. The leg in the front should be bent at a 90-degree angle at the hip and at the knee. And then you're going to push your hip slightly forward until you feel a bit of a stretch in the front of your leg and also in your hip flexor region right here. And you'll hold that position for 15 to 30 seconds, breathing normally and relaxing everything you can. And then you'll turn to the other side. And again, extend your leg out behind you with your toe turned under. Push your hips slightly forward till you feel a stretch in the front of your thigh. So now we've taken care of your thighs, the back and the front. How are we going to stretch the calves? There are two muscles in the calves that need to be stretched, and I'll show you both positions. You can put your hands on a wall, you can put them on a fence in front of you, you can put them on a chair, anything that you want for support, and you're going to take a step into a lunge position. Your back leg should be straight and your heel should be flat on the ground. You'll bend your front knee to deepen that position a little until you feel a bit of a stretch in your thigh, in your back leg. We're stretching the back leg now, the heel stays on the floor. Breathe naturally. And after about 30 seconds, you're going to bring your legs a little bit closer together. Shift your weight a little bit onto your back foot. Bend your back knee as well as your front knee, and that stretches the second muscle in your calf. Pretty important to stretch both those muscles. Even though it takes a little more time, it's worth it. A lot of people, as they get into their 50s, 60s, and 70s, start to have some leg cramps, and stretching can be quite helpful. Then you'll switch legs, put the opposite leg back, heel flat on the floor, legs straight in the back, bend your front knee till you feel that stretch in the back of your calf muscle. And then again, the second position is to shift your weight slightly, bend your back knee as well as your front knee until you feel that stretch in your calf on the back leg. So now we've stretched the muscles in our legs. Two more stretches I'd like to show you that can be helpful when you come in from walking. To stretch your shoulders, your upper back, and your chest. So the first is for your shoulders and your upper back. Just grab hold like a big bear hug. Wrap your arms as far around your body as you can, and don't let your shoulders come up around your ears. Put them down, and just give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then after 15 to 30 seconds, we'll stretch out your chest. The way to do that is to put one hand in the other hand behind your back. Then push your arms down until they're straight, lifting your chest slightly. Your sternum comes up and your chest expands. I'm going to show you what that looks like from the front. As you push your hands down, your chest comes up a little and expands. Shoulders are down and back. And after 15 to 30 seconds, you stop, shake out your arms and your legs, and go on about the rest of your day. I hope you find these stretches useful. I hope you'll join us again for another video in the series, Staying Strong in the Second Half.